A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Okay, welcome back to another video, and I'm sorry for taking a long little break. There was a lot going on, but we're back on track. Remember, one video once a week. Let's go. So, I'm going to be bringing you a part 2 to a Twilight Zone video that I already did, I think about like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Well, basically, I talked about some of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes, and I kind of broke them down on what they is about and didn't spoil anything. Well, this is the part 2 to that video, where I basically do the exact same thing. I'm going to tell you what the episode is about, but I'm not going to spoil anything about the episode because I want you to experience them for yourself. So, let's dive into this list, because this list is going to be just as good as the first one. And I got a lot of positive response on that first Twilight Zone video. So thank you for that. So hopefully this one reached your expectation as well. So kicking things off here at number 5 on my Twilight Zone list is an episode called What You Need, Season 1, Episode 12. This episode tells a story about a man who basically has this, he can see the future thing. He can like predict what a person needs, which is the name of the episode, What You Need. And every single person, he gives them stuff that they need that he already done saw. And so all of a sudden, he becomes so good at this until he catch the attention, of a very strange guy who ended up taking his ability a little bit too serious and end up trying to torture the guy and trying to force him to give him stuff that he needs. But then something bizarre happened when the guy tried to take advantage of him, and all of a sudden, that's when chaotic breaks loose at the end of the episode. You're going to have to watch the episode to kind of understand exactly what I'm talking about. I will not be spoiling none of these episodes, just like I did in the first video that I did, and you ain't going to get no spoiler here. But like I said, this episode is so good because it deals with prediction, and this guy in this episode is so good at predicting what a person needs. And little by what happened at the end of this is what makes this whole episode even better, knowing why this guy wanted to get this crazy dude away from him. Just watch the episode and find out what I mean. 4 is an episode called Enough Time at Last. This is an episode that tells a story about a banker who loves to read newspaper, books, magazines, etc. And all he wants to do is just read. That's all he wants to do, just read books all day long, read magazines, read newspaper. But his wife and his job forbid it. They don't want him to read anything. But then something happened where there was some kind of attack in his location and ended up wiping out humanity. And all of a sudden, he get enough time at last to do what he wants. But something happened at the end of this episode that will make you go, no, bro, that cannot be happening. Remember, enough time at last. If you want to watch any Twilight Zone episode, I highly recommend this one, because what happened at the end makes this whole episode say fuck you to the face. Literally, this episode say, ha ha, fuck you, you get no happy ending here. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but you just got to check it out. This episode is fucked up at the end. Number 3 on the list is an episode called The Hitcher. The Hitcher, I believe? The Hitcher. Season 1, episode 16. This episode tells a story about the young woman who's basically on the road driving. I believe she's going to go see her mom or something like that. And no matter what she do, she cannot avoid this hitcher that she sees on the road. He constantly be in her view every time she drives. No matter where she goes, she stop at the gas station, she see him there. She stop at the payphone to make a call, she see him there. She even drive almost 4, 5, 6 miles and she still sees this guy. But the whole plot twist at the end is what makes this episode probably one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes of all time. I'm not going to spoil it because you got to watch it. But at the end, it's fucking nuts when you know exactly why she kept seeing this guy. And when you see it, you probably will go back and rewatch the episode again because how engaging it is by the time it gets to the climax. I'm telling you, this episode is so good, just like pretty much every episode on this entire list. Number 4 on my list is an episode called Mirror Image. This episode tells a story about this young woman who's sitting in a train station, no, a bus station waiting on the bus. And the bus seems to be taking this sweet-ass time to get to her location. So she goes to the front desk at the bus station to say, hey, how long is the bus going to be taking? And then the bus station guy goes, well, you just came up here and asked me that question like 5 minutes ago. Now here you go again asking me the same question you just asked me 5 minutes ago. And then the lady seems to be so confused because she goes, I didn't come up here and ask you anything. And then the guy said, yes, you did. And so things start to already be on edge with her. And so she go and sit down. She decided she got to use the bathroom. But then she sees something in the bathroom that doesn't seem right. And that's all I'm going to say about this episode. But this episode is one of those episodes I would truly have to say is ahead of its time, and it's very effective for what they show you and how they did it, especially back in the 1960s. I mean, I got to keep my mouth closed because I almost spoiled something that was so important. But like I said, you just got to watch Mirror Image. Like I said, it's one of the best episodes in the Twilight Zone. Remember season 1, episode 21, excuse me. Oh my goodness, I thought the wrong number. Season 1, episode 21, okay? There you go. 5 on my list is an episode called Monsters Due on Maple Street. One of the most famous and iconic episodes in Twilight Zone history. Everybody has made a mockery of this episode, from Family Guy to The Simpsons to, I mean, just name any TV show you can ever find, and they all made a mockery of this episode. This episode is season 1, episode 22. This episode tells a story about this strange town that experienced some very strange things happening in their town. A group of people come together to try to figure out what's going on. Lights are flickering on and off. People acting weird. People showing up missing left to right. And they trying to get from A to B to find out what's going on. And every time they get one step closer, the weirder and weirder things get for them. This town is so isolated and so paranoid that they literally start accusing each other of being aliens or creatures or etc. And what we don't know is what makes this episode more interesting. But the stuff you do know make it even better. But see, this episode is the reason why this episode is so iconic is because of the big mystery that happened at the end. You want to know what happened, you know how we do it, you got to check it out. But like I said, the Twilight Zone is something that I grew up watching and I fell in love with it in terms of certain episodes. And every time I watch some of these episodes, I find myself becoming more and more invested in what they show me and what they don't show me. It kind of weighs my expectations a little bit higher. And I would definitely be making a part 3 to this video because this is probably going to be a franchise that we're going to spawn on our channel. We're going to be probably ranking some of these episodes to worst to best and kind of give like a little deep dive. I will be doing a Twilight Zone episode review soon, but we've been a little slow here in June, so we just got to kind of get the momentum back on the road. And so, like I said, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's specific video. If you want to get in touch with me, all my social media link will be in the description down below. And remember, my name is Kevin Johnson, and I love horror movies. And don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification so that way when I drop another lit video for the channel, you'll be the first ones to get it. And I hope to see you here in the next video. Peace.